Everyone, my name's Dan, and you're watching my channel. So, I recently found a video online by the villain of YouTube, Onision. You know, the guy who looks like Shane Dawson's evil brother from another mother. Seriously, those guys look a lot alike. And this is no disrespect to Shane Dawson. So, the video is about, basically he comes on in a Bane mask and not Bane from Dark Knight Rises, but like Batman, the animated series Bane mask, or Batman Robin, bat nipples. Anyway, he goes on and does this whole thing where he's berating people who are anti-this. He says, in his nasally, high-pitched voice, that if you're an anti-feminist, you're clearly against equality because, feminism is for, equality. No, I'm an anti-feminist. I just don't like the attitudes of many feminists, them being, anti-male. And Onision goes on and he says, well, they're not anti-male. He says that, he pulls up the definition via, screenshot of Google thing saying that, it says, this is a political movement for an advocacy of the equal rights of women and gender equality. Right. But that's not everything. That's just, Onision had fallen under the persuasive definition fallacy. And what does that mean? Well, that means is when someone uses a definition to claim that this is what this means, and that's all. Not allowing for any kind of expansion or for any kind of it's very abridged way of explaining a concept, which is a bad idea. It'd be like me describing, a dog. Now, what is a dog? I mean, look at it. Well, according to Google's definition of a dog is a carnivorous mammal that has been domesticated by humans that, typically has a long snout, an acute sense of smell, and barks and walks on four legs. That's very simple. Isn't that right, boy? Is that all you are? No, you're not. You see, if you go look up, information on dogs, it says that dogs are a carnivorous canid species, and they have many breeds. They are descendant of wolves. They can range from size as this little guy here, my little terrier, to my German Shepherd in my backyard, which comes up to my hip, all the way up to the Saint Bernard. So, very limited. Definitions are very limited, as opposed to what it doesn't talk about the evolution of the dog, the selective breeding that they use to get certain traits, which I could find at least a decent amount on Wikipedia. The related species like wolves and foxes and coyotes. No, none of that's on there. It's just a brief summarization of what a dog is. Anyway, so Onision used the definition fallacy. And, feminism is a lot more than just, advocacy. It's actually changed a lot over the years. If you've actually read your history, which I'm pretty sure he hasn't. I am actually I love history, as the fact that I have a channel dedicated to history. But going to the actual story, problem is that if you look at the Wikipedia article or any other articles about feminism, it says that is a big umbrella of ideas dealing with gender rights for women. Pretty simple, but it came in different ways. I mean, it says, the first wave of feminists was probably the most close to what Onision was defining. They were, this was back, literally 100 years ago, where you had Susan B. Anthony, advocating for women's suffrage, the right to vote, the right to be on juries, all those fun rights that up until then you had to be male and you had to be white, especially if you want to get certain other rights like voting without being harassed by, the man in the South. So, they want, obviously you wanted, it was a civil rights movement. Which is, that's why a lot. And in fact, Susan B. Anthony, I'm pretty sure, would not like many modern feminists because she, when she got arrested for trying to vote before it was allowed, she demanded the exact equal treatment by law from as that men got. She didn't want to be treated easy. I mean, if you told that to a feminist, like, no, I think, a woman who commits murder should be given the same sentence as men, they'd call you a sexist, which is exactly opposite of what their founding mother would want. It would be, to her, it would be just obscene. But he goes on and starts saying that he starts writing those who call herself, egalitarian. Because I'm a social egalitarian. I believe in the equal treatment of all humans on the planet, regardless of ethnic, sexual, gender, all religious, backgrounds. You just should be treated as equally. You should be given you should be treated. I believe in truly in kind of a meritocracy. You got to be treated on what you can prove. You say, look, I brought this to the table, and therefore I should be judged on what I brought to the table, which is what social egalitarian believes. And he's like, well, they both are about equality. Like, no, but if you understand that, going back to definitions, things change. This is something that Mr. Onision probably doesn't remember from his English class days. Things about connotation and denotation. And if you've studied history, there's another term called de facto and de jure. Now, connotation denotation is a term you'd use when you're referring in English about the meanings of stuff. So, a connotation. Denotation is the actual dictionary definition, like so many feminists like to try to. Now, the connotation is what context is it being used in, because certain phrases can mean different things depending on inflection, tone. So that's like being sarcastic. So clearly something means something different, or the situation it is in. Certain words have also that kind of means. How words are treated. That's why euphemisms have been, adopted. You can't say, I work in the porn industry because it looks bad. You say, I work in the adult entertainment industry, or I am an adult performer, because that is that makes it sound better. Or my favorite one, you don't call it torture, because torture is bad, but you call it enhanced interrogation, despite the fact on paper those are the same things. So that's but what I want to go back more is the concept that Onision is the concept of de facto versus de jure, and these are both Latin terms. De facto meaning is in fact or in reality. De jure meaning according to the law or according to the way it's written as definition. It's supposed to be defined out. We'll use racism as an example. This is really easy. De jure law says you're not allowed to discriminate against anyone based on gender, sexuality, gender identity, religion, so on and so forth. A lot of people know that in jobs is what they call the equal opportunity employment. De facto is that there still is discrimination. It's just done subtly. People call I mean, you can't basically go and legally discriminate someone in like a work environment or in government, but you can do things that are subtle. You know, oh, we're like like when an employer doesn't want to hire someone who's Muslim, by simply not letting him notice whether or not hiring, we'll do the, well, I'll take a look at your application and then we'll get back to you. Not hiring them, but not being able to be, that's subtle, you know, things. So, yeah. I'll use, now let's get back to feminism. De jure, according to the definition, a lot of what is written down, according to it, is the, you know, all that fun stuff they said before. Now, de facto is that a lot of feminists are anti-male. They are the kind of people when a man tries to argue with them, they'll start yelling at them. When someone brings up legitimate criticism to feminism, they're the first ones to yell sexist, misogynist. You see, there's difference. You keep using the de jure terms. You need to start living in the reality, in the de facto way. And so, de facto, feminism is, for a lot of feminists, especially the hardcore ones, are very anti-male. In fact, I was recently watching something where they showed that a lot of second-wave feminists, and this kind of bled on the third wave, a lot of the more extreme of those, we're extremely antagonistic to their colleague, their, you know, feminist counterparts who, you know, were, you know, liked men. You know, let's say you had the woman who's like, yeah, I want my equal pay. I want, not to be treated badly in the workplace and, you know, talked down to just because I'm a woman. And they'd go home to a boyfriend or a husband who probably was like, you know, honey, you're right. You know, but they're extreme, they're radical counterparts. Like, why are you doing that? You should. And these are the more modern ones. Are saying, I can't help what I'm attracted to, and this is back before. And this is the kind of same bullshit that they're doing now, except for differently. They're saying, oh, well, sexuality is a social construct, which now we've disproved that by saying, no, there's been proof that when someone's born, you know, you're typically born more, you know, heterosexual or homosexual. I say that because there's definitely a spectrum on how, you know, maybe homosexual. Some people fall, you know, more in the middle with bi. Some people are bi, but they're more attracted to, you know, the opposite sex or same sex. I have a cousin who's like that. I know the exact opposite. So, you know, it's a spectrum and something that you really can't control. I've heard this from bisexuals that they're like, no, like by the same time I was finding attraction to boys, I find attraction to girls, or vice versa. So they're like, that's just who I am. And so now they're like, well, gender is a social construct. They're changed their tune. When now we found out, no, it's a neurology thing. Hence why you have transsexuals. They have a different amount of gray matter versus white matter in their brain, and that balance is typically seen in the opposite sex as opposed to their biological sex, and they feel uncomfortable. I heard this if you want to know more about that, you can look up Blair White. She is a vlogger too. But back to Onision. Stop it with the feminist definition. Go to your fucking research. Understand that things are more than just definitions. Again, going back to definitions, that's like saying, that a tree is a thing that produces oxygen when there's like so much more. There's so much nuance. But you're the kind of person who doesn't like nuance. And so, you know, it can't be helped. But that's my refutation of Onision's little diatribe. If you like this video, please hit the like button. And subscribe. You know, leave a comment. My name is Dan, and I was glad to have you on this channel. Bye.